Hello everyone, this is Nurul Amin from Sky Blue Gadgets. Anyway, today I wanted to unbox another phone that I really like selling. It is the famous Samsung Galaxy A22 5G. I really love this phone. Loads of reasons, but I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. I did promise myself I want to start. I always buy phones and I always sell phones. I always get sealed up phones, yet I'm not doing them for some reason. So today's video is about unboxing, and I'm going to tell you about the features as well. But as you can see, standard pretty much, the instruction manuals. And basically, I'm just going to take the phone out the box, and what does the phone come with? This is like a beautiful white color. And as you can see, when I do, you can see in the box, there's a plug that's in the box, and there's a cable. But some of the features I wanted to basically talk about was that it was announced 2021 June the 3rd, and basically it was released date was the June the 24th. The dimension is 167 by 0.2 by 76.5 times 9 millimeter. The weight is roughly around 203 grams. So it's not that bad, and it's not too heavy and it's not too light. And the front glass, you can just tell, and it's got plastic frame and it's got plastic back. The reason why they've done that is because obviously it's not one of your top Galaxy ranges where you can have wireless charging. This phone does not have wireless charging because it's plastic, but this is how you can save yourself a lot of money. Look at that. It's got the 3 cameras, it's got the sensor, it's got the flash. You cannot go wrong with this phone. I'm telling you, this is such a beautiful phone. It's got like a nice silver chrome sachet to it. But like I said, I'll switch the phone on and I'll just show you little things, but I'll also talk about the phone as we speak. The SIM it takes is basically it's dual SIM, but it takes a nano SIM card. It takes 2 of them, and it takes an SD card, which none of the top range phones do anymore. They don't. The Samsung Galaxy S21, S22, the 22 Ultras, any of them, they don't give you SD cards for some reason, which is a shame. I think they should bring the SD cards back, and and the headphone jack personally. But yeah, it all depends on what your preference is. Like, these phones have headphone jack. Come on, Apple. Come on, Samsung. Put the headphone jack back on. I'm going to be setting this phone up. This phone is there. Just going to set up the language, and then I'm going to go press next, and then I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi, and then just take it from there. I like this phone because it has a TFT LCD, 90 hertz. Obviously, it's pretty much standard. 90 hertz is good. I think for a budget phone, you can pick one of these phones up between 170 and 190 pounds. That is value for money, guys. Genuinely, if that's not value for money, I don't know what's value for money these days. But thanks to Samsung, they are making budget phones. They're catering for the full market, whereas Apple and companies like that, they just want thousands of pounds from you. Like, look at what's the cheapest iPhone in the market. Like, credit to Samsung, they are bringing budget phones out, because we don't all have £1,000 to spend on an iPhone, unfortunately. Obviously, my phone shop's been all around for about 17 years, so I've seen everything. What people's budgets are, what people buy the phones for. People buy phones for their auntie, their uncle, their kids. They go Bangladesh, they go Pakistan, they go India. They don't really want to give a £1,000 phone. This is ideal. If you're going to go abroad and you want to give someone a gift, give them one of these phones. They will appreciate it. Look how big the screen is. You cannot go wrong with a phone like this. Anyway, the OS operating system is Android 11, but it's upgradable to the Android 13. It's got the One UI Core 5. They've put the chipset in the Mediatek MT6833, and the CPU, that's the main processor that runs your phone. It's got the Octa-core. End of the day, Octo, you can't go wrong with the Octo. End of the day, it's got the Cortex A76, and the GPU, the graphic processing unit, it's got the Mali-G57 MC2, if that makes sense to you. But all it basically means is that the CPU is basically, it just tells you everything about how quick or how fast this phone can operate, and GPU is more of the graphic if you want to play games, if you want to play your latest games, and it's just a graphic card basically they insert into your phone to give you high quality resolution on the performance of the phone. Anyway, the memory, like I said, yes, it's got a micro SD card. You know, end of the day, praise to Samsung. Thank you very much for keeping this alive, because we take a lot of videos, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, we go to weddings and we take a lot of videos, and these videos in high definition quality, high quality, 1080p 4K resolution, 30 frames per second, and it takes up a lot of memory. And if you're what does that mean when you can't have if you can't have a SD card and your internal memory is full, then you're stuck. You're gonna have to start deleting stuff, or you're gonna have to start moving everything to the cloud or your Google photos, and it's just, I don't know. Anyway, enough of me. You can get this in 64 gig 4 gig RAM, 128 gig 4 gig RAM, 128 gig 6 gig RAM, and 128 GB 8 gigabyte RAM. When I say 8 gig RAM, it just means random access memory. It just means basically how quick it could maybe go onto the internet, download apps, go surf 6 different applications simultaneously and not slow down. So look, 8 gig RAM, I'm more than happy with that. Anyway, moving on to the camera. The camera has it's got a 48 megapixel camera with an aperture of 1.8 wide camera. It's got also a 5 megapixel camera, which is ultra wide. The aperture of that is 2.2, and basically it's got the LED flash, it's got the panorama, it's got the HDR. HDR just means high dynamic range. Video, it's got 1152 pixel at 30 frames per second. Selfie camera, let's move on to the selfie camera. I'm just updating the phone, as you can see. What I like to do sometimes is, some particular phones, when I buy 4 or 5 of each model, I always have one on display. And then what I do is, so the customer doesn't need to go through all the headache, I basically update it. I activate it with my Wi-Fi, I update it and stuff like that. And whoever, because we have customers that just come in the shop and they just want to put a SIM card and they want to go. They haven't got time to connect. They haven't got time to connect to the Wi-Fi. They haven't got time to activate the phone. They don't have time to do all of this stuff. So over experience, what I do is I have 3 on stock, with brand new. 1 I just open up, have it on display, and then customers just put their SIM in and they're up and running. I've updated it twice and updated to the latest version. And I just charge the phone up, and basically everybody wins. Win-win scenario. The selfie camera, while that loads up, is 8 megapixel camera, aperture of 2.0 wide, and the video is 1080 at 30 frames per second. It's got a loudspeaker, and hoo-ha, yes, it's got, like I said, 3.5mm jack, headphone jack, which means you can just use any headphones lying around, that's wired up, and bingo, get on with listening to music, get on watching YouTube, get on watching my YouTube channel. By the way, please smash the like button, comment below, and subscribe. I always forget to mention that in all of my videos, but I've wrote it down this time. So please subscribe and share, so the algorithm shares my video. I want to do this full time, and just take it from there. Anyway, going back to, it's got Bluetooth 5.0, which is very good. Wi-Fi 802.11, excellent. Dual band Wi-Fi direct. It's got NFC, so you can connect with other devices. It's got a radio, FM radio. It's got a USB Type C charger, the 2.0. And then, you know, end of the day, I love these features. I love Samsung keeping these features alive, because end of the day, why do it's just one of those things that I want these features, I love these features, and a lot of my customers buy it. Again, I've told you, they might have a 10-year-old, they might have a 9-year-old. Do you really want to give your iPhone 13 Pro Max to your kids to play with, or your 3-year-old daughter or your 3-year-old son, and put it in their mouth and put saliva all in the charging port? And then guess what? When you put it on charge, it doesn't charge no more. Or because the phone's too big, they've dropped it and the screen's broken. These phones, they're durable. Just put a screen protector, put a case. You cannot go wrong. Yes, so the battery is 5,000 milliamps, non-removable. It's got charging 15 watts wired. The colors that it comes in are grey, white, mint, and violet. And basically the model, obviously we know, is a22 6B, and the prices can range from anything from £177 upwards, or if you get a bargain, maybe 10, 15, 20 pounds lower. But really and truly, look between £170 to £190 would be a safe bet for you to get. Display contrast ratio is 1631, and the camera, you got the cameras, you got the photo, you got the video, and you can have the option on the battery life, which is called the endurance rating of 118 hours. Wow, that's a lot. Because the phone's big phone, it has big battery. Just remember that the bigger the phone, the bigger the battery. More better, less charging. I'm just waiting for it to load up. Like I said, I try to load it up for people who just come in and they just want it. Sensors, while that loads up, it's got fingerprint, it's got on the side, it's side mounted, it's got the accelerometer, it's got the gyro, it's got the proximity. Proximity just means basically when you put the phone next to your face, when you're on the phone, it blanks out so it doesn't start selecting numbers and calling people automatically. And yeah, it's got all these other features that are really cool. Brand new big phone, a22 5G. You cannot go wrong. I'm just waiting for it to load up. Once it loads up, then you can see what's going on. I've looked on the test performance, and basically a22 is giving it a performance of 242,155 V8. So, and Geekbench have given it 6,913, and then you got GFX Bench 12 frames per second, contrast, and all these kind of, you know, things. Anyway, I really highly rate this phone. Let the phone load up. Again, I'm almost done. As you can see, it's loading up. Comment below what you think. Have you got this phone? Let me know if you have this phone. What do you think? Have Samsung done a good job of it? Comment below. I'll look forward to reading your comment. I reply back to all comments, and basically I'll be doing more videos like this, so please subscribe. Nobody hardly reviews these type of phones, so that's why I'm going for these phones. I can always get the better phones like the 14 Pro Maxes and that, which I will be doing as well, review. But I thought, you know, it should be something like this, that we should review these type of phones. My next phones I'm going to be reviewing when I get an opportunity is going to be the A72 5G, the A32 5G. These are in that type of category, these type of phones. It's like a whole weird level kind of new section that Samsungs have come up with, and basically they're trying to cater for the lower side with people with a less budget. So I sell a lot of these A52s, A72s, A22s, A13s. They're very popular. Obviously they're not the LTE models, and obviously with the LTE they come up with better specifications, but I think Samsung are onto something, and obviously because they're onto something, they're gonna keep going with it. Why not keep going with it? It's good for the phone shops out there, and it's good for consumers. They don't need to spend £600, £700 on a phone. They can just get away with spending, you know, anything just under 200 quid is bonus, and everybody wins. Also, I forgot to mention that always remember, any of these models, they come standard, but they also come with a 5G version. So it might be A22, that's one model, and then there'll be A22 5G, or A13 and an A13 5G, or an A32 and an A32 5G. You get my gist. So always remember that it basically, it won't be, it's not, unless it says on the box when you're buying it in black and white 5G, it won't be 5G. What do we mean by 5G? Basically the network out there, when you connect to, you know, your SIM card network provider, you'll have 5G service, better, you know, better reception, faster internet speeds. That's what they mean basically by 5G. So in my recommendation, in my experience, try to buy the 5G versions, because if you're into your YouTubes, if you're into watching lots of videos, etc., and you're not at home connected to Wi-Fi, and I don't know if you're traveling in the bus or the tube or the train, and you just want some good quality, then go for the 5G. If you're not bothered and you want to save that 30, 40, 50 quid, I don't even think it's 50 quid, I think it's between 30 and 40 quid difference, then get yourself an A22, especially if you're going to buy it for your kids who are 10 years old. Anyway, enough for me. Bye bye.